I found some dried blood here on the windowsills, and the fact that it was dried makes me think that it was from last night while he was bleeding. And there's also some dried blood on the blankets here.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo. The Lucky Ferals.
It is 10 p.m. and I'm trying to clean up the kitchen, and Nancy has been meowing and howling and making all kinds of a ruckus by the door. I think she was standing on top of the gate and banging on the door. So I'm just about to go downstairs, and I can see that the 2 platters are completely empty. So maybe she was letting me know that they want more food. I really did not spend any playtime with them down here tonight because I just need to get some stuff done. Move over, Richard, so I can come downstairs. So, as I've been saying through these videos, right now things are a balancing act as far as, getting things done around the house, with work, with posting videos, with filming videos, with dealing with the cats. If I was not filming and posting videos, which take hours every day, I would have more time to spend training the cats, for example, and working on getting them more socialized and stuff. So it's definitely a balancing act. So it's like, do I share their story with people, or do I not share their story and just spend more time actually with them and interacting with them? Here's Richard. So that's why I was trying to clean the kitchen, and then now I have to come down here and spend some time with the cats. Hey, Goldie. Hey, Nancy. We're going to play our trampoline game. I have a wand toy underneath the trampoline, and the cats are going after it. They love this game. I don't know why. So Nancy's on top of the trampoline, and Sammy's underneath it. I could feel her under there. There goes Goldie. I don't know why the color on the camera is acting wonky. Sammy just came out. So now it's like her and Nancy are back in the boxing ring. Oh, now someone else is underneath. Oh, there goes Richard. Sammy, you're so funny. You're so funny, Sammy. Ziggy's eating some food. Oh, Ringo's gonna go lay down on the chair. Ringo's very talkative also. It is 8:24 a.m. And there's Splash. He doesn't want to get out of bed. He's so comfortable. He slept there all night. I'm super zoomed in, so the camera's a little bit shaky. So I forgot to mention that yesterday the cats had weigh-in. So I'm trying to get them back on a weekly weigh-in schedule. And they stayed the same weight as the week before. And that was with completely changing their diet. So going to low carb, eat as much as you want, and eliminating crunchy time. So we'll see what this week brings. And here's Stella. How you doing, Stella? So this morning I had 3 cats on the bed with me when I woke up. Boo slept on the bed all night. And then this morning Simba jumped on the bed and then Stella jumped on the bed. So I was surrounded by 3 cats. It is 7:25 p.m. I think all the cats just brought themselves downstairs, but I have to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 and number 7 are across the room, so we are good. I am just about to give everyone their dinner. So it was a rainy, yucky day today. Most of the cats spent the day down here relaxing. Nancy and Richard were upstairs for a while, and Sammy was upstairs for a while, and Richard wants to go into my room because that's where all of, the big cats are. Boo, Stella, Splash, and Simba, but they don't want him in there. And all he wants to do is, he wants to lay in my closet because that's what he used to do when he used to go in that room. But I'm going to keep that room off limits to the kittens because the big cats need like their own turf. So that's why they're not allowed in there. Okay, you hungry? You hungry? Oh, you want a snack? You guys want a snack? Ringo says he wants a snack. You want a snack? Want a snack, Sammy? Sammy likes to stand on the stairs just like Boo. Boo's always on the stairs, so is Sammy. It's about 9:10 p.m. and I got a shipment today from Tractor Supply. I ordered some cat food from Tractor Supply. And they shipped it in this really big box with all of this packing paper. So I thought what I would do is bring it down here and let the cats play with it overnight. So I put the box on its side and all the packing paper is here. So they'll probably end up tearing it up, biting the cardboard, but they'll probably have a good time also. So it'll be something new and different for them. They're already looking. They're like, what's going on here? Sammy's already in the box. Of course, she'd be the first one checking it out. I don't even know where she is. I can't even see her. Here comes Ringo. Ringo's like, what's going on here? There goes Nancy. Is there going to be a fight? Well, I guess Sammy has gotten comfortable in there. I can't even see her in there. Where are you, Sammy? She's probably under the paper. Sammy's getting territorial. It is 7:30 a.m. and here's Boo. He's in his room. He's been in his room all night with the door shut. Let me tell you what happened last night. So last night, it was probably around 11:30, 12 p.m. and I was getting ready for bed and Boo was laying on my comforter. My comforter's white. And then I was like, okay, Boo, I'm gonna go brush my teeth, take my contacts out, and I'll be right back. When I got back, Boo was not on the bed anymore, and instead there was a splatter of blood. It looked like he sneezed blood or something like that. So I was like, okay, this is definitely not good. What I was able to do is I was able to get him into his room here, and I checked him out the best I could, and I could not find any like bleeding spots on him. Like, I assumed it was coming from his mouth. Come here, Boo. Because the blood was splattered and it looked like he sneezed it, I assumed it was coming from his mouth. And lately, what I've been noticing is that one of his large fangs looks like it's longer than the other one. So last year when I took him to the vet said that he looked long in the tooth, which means that the vet thought his fangs were slowly coming out. And he said that happens to some animals. And, you know, it could be because Boo has teeth issues. It could just be genetics with him. You know, it could be anything. Now, Boo has been doing a lot of stress grooming recently. And because of the stress grooming, I thought, well, maybe he is like irritating his mouth from doing so much grooming. And then maybe that's aggravating it, or maybe that is, kind of making it happen faster than it normally would. So that's what's going on in my mind. I'm thinking, okay, it's something going on with that tooth or something going on with his mouth. And so this morning when I came into this room, I found some dried blood here on the windowsills, and the fact that it was dried makes me think that it was from last night while he was bleeding. And there's also some dried blood on the blankets here. The reason why I wanted to isolate him in this room is for this very reason, because if he was bleeding, it would be contained to this room, but also I would be able to find it, because if he was all over the house, I doubt I would find it, because I have a house that has like a lot of different colors in it. It's not like, everything's not like just beige and gray. If everything was beige and gray, it's easier to see blood. But I have different colors, so sometimes it's more difficult to find things, especially like on a multicolored rug or something. So thankfully I was able to get about 5 hours of sleep. I ended up going to bed around 1 a.m. and then I woke up around 6:30 today. I put the comforter in the washer and dryer last night, so I just put the dryer back on. Okay, now I'm seeing some blood splatters here on the floor, but this would make sense. But is this, okay, so this is like more wet blood. Okay, I just wiped up the blood. So here is my plan. I just got out of the shower, I just got dressed. I need to dry my hair, get ready for the day. The vet that I take Boo to does not open until 8:30. Right now it's 7:40. So I am going to hurry up and get myself ready. As you can see right here, there is a carrier. So I just took the carrier out from where it was and I put it here. I opened it up and I sprayed it with Pet Remedy. I'm gonna leave Boo here with the carrier just to get him used to it, and then after I get myself ready, I'm gonna have to get him into the carrier. I'm gonna call our vet to see if they could squeeze him in this morning. If not, I'm gonna take him to a local animal hospital. So there are 2 local 24/7 animal hospitals. I would want to take him to the one that I took Stella to a few years ago, not the one that I've been taking like Ditto and Hydrox to. I just don't like that one anymore. So the plan would be to take him to a vet this morning because I myself have an appointment this afternoon to get a wisdom tooth removed. So I have an appointment with an oral surgeon around 2. So I need to get Boo there early, checked out, and then back. I just hope I could get him into a carrier. Meanwhile, here are the other cats, and Splash is in the cat tower by the window. I also need to get them fed and get litter scooped, so a lot to do right now. It is 8:55 a.m. I'm in the car with Boo. I'm gonna take him to the emergency vet. I talked to Boo's vet, and Boo's vet has a surgery scheduled for this morning. Otherwise, they would have taken him right away. They gave me an appointment for 11:15. I really don't want to wait until 11:15. Plus, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that and keep my dental appointment today. So that's why I'm going to take him to the emergency vet. We're going to see what happens there. And then I might either keep the appointment with the vet or cancel the appointment with the vet. We're just going to play it by ear right now. But Boo's not happy. He's in the carrier. He's in the car. And yeah, we're going to leave. It is 9:10 a.m. We just got to the animal hospital. Boo did pretty good. I mean, he's been meowing, but it wasn't too bad. So I'm going to take him in and we'll see what they say. It is 9:50 a.m. and we just got back. And this was the best animal hospital experience I've had so far with the cats. I mean, we're there and back in less than an hour, which is just wonderful. Boo had his procedure. They prescribed him 2 medications. They give him a painkiller and an antibiotic, and I had plenty of time to talk to the vet, and yeah, now we're back. It is 10:22 a.m. Boo's been relaxing in his carrier while I got the room ready for him, so I put the blankets and the runner in the laundry because they had blood on them. I cleaned up any blood that was on the window and the window ledge and the windowsill, and I put fresh towels on the day sofa just because if it gets blood on them, they're easy to toss in the laundry. And then I put a towel up here by the window. I made sure all the other cats in the house had more breakfast and they have fresh water. I do have to give fresh water to the cats downstairs, but I washed out all the other water bowls just in case Boo was drinking out of them and there was any blood in the water. And I'm going to let him out, and he's on gabapentin, then he's on also an antibiotic. I put some gabapentin into a churu for him. It's a chicken churu, so hopefully he'll eat it. And the most challenging thing today is keeping him in this room. Maybe it'll be easy because Grandma and Grandpa are supposed to be here, but I need to keep him in this room until at least he stops bleeding from the mouth. They said it should stop later today, but you keep an eye on it. So, okay, Boo, we're going to let you out now, okay? Okay, baby? You want to eat your snack? There's a snack for you. Please eat the whole snack. I'm concerned he might not eat the snack because the gabapentin has kind of a strong smell. Here, eat that. And he's only on liquid food. He's not on solids at all. If he doesn't eat that, then I'll give him some other food with a stronger smell. Eat that, Boo. I also have to give him his antibiotic, but I wanted to get the painkiller into him first because it can relax him. I just give him a green churu on top of the chicken churu. Usually the cats really like the green ones. So we'll see how much of that he actually eats. It's good that he's acting normal. He was already trying to get out of the room, and I was like, no, you can't leave the room. So he's not feeling lethargic. They said he's probably going to feel a lot better because he's not going to be in pain from the tooth anymore. But he's definitely off crunchies. So I don't remember exactly what I recorded and what I did not record. I know I didn't film anything in the exam room, but basically they opened his mouth and it was full of blood, and they saw that his tooth was loose and it was moving around quite a bit, which confirmed what I had told them that I thought it was that tooth because to me it looked like it was longer than the other tooth. So I'm very happy that I was able to notice that with regards to Boo, and he was under watch with that. So I'm glad this happened on a weekday, because usually it's less crowded at the animal hospitals, and I was able to contact the vet also on a weekday. The bill was less than $300, so that was one of the cheapest emergency bills that the cats have ever had. I'm very happy with the entire experience today at the emergency room. So they took him into an exam room. They looked at his mouth, and right away they saw all the blood. They saw the loose tooth, and they're like, okay, we're just going to pull it. And I was like, don't you have to put him under? And they're like, no, it'll just take literally 2 seconds, not even. And then, it'll be done, and it'll be much less painful and less traumatic for him. And so that's what they did. Boom. They just took some kind of pliers or whatever. Boom. Took the tooth out. And I was like, can I have the tooth? And they're like, sure. It's going to be kind of nasty, but you could have it. They put it in a little bottle for me. So now I have his tooth. They gave him an exam. They did all the palpitations and everything. And he weighs 14 pounds. So he's actually down a pound from the last time he went to the vet, which is good. He weighed 15 before. Now he's 14. And other than that, everything was fine. They just said, I need to schedule an appointment for him to have a teeth cleaning because, once cats reach a certain age, they definitely need it. And they said he needs it. So this is where Boo got his tooth pulled. There's Boo now. Okay, Boo, you want more now? So I gave him the gabapentin on a very small plate, and he had 2 chew-roos. He didn't eat all of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him the antibiotic and some canned food on this small plate also. I'm only going to give him a small portion because I want him to eat it. If he eats that, then he could have more. Okay, everybody, listen. We're going to have a family meeting. I want everyone over here. Is everyone listening? Ringo, you listening? Nancy and Richard, are you listening? Goldie and Ziggy, you listening? Little Eva, you listening? Sammy's up by the window. So, listen, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen today. Grandma and Grandpa are coming over today, okay? They don't want to hurt you. They don't want to take you anywhere, okay? They're going to be nice to you, and you're not going anywhere. You're staying here, okay? So you don't have to be afraid. I don't want anyone to be afraid today, okay? Grandma and Grandpa are coming to visit you today, and they're going to be nice to you, and they're not taking you anywhere. You're staying here. You're staying here. Everyone is staying here, okay? But I want to let you know that's who they are. So it's your grandma and your grandpa, okay? And they're coming here to be nice to you, okay? They're coming here to be nice to you, so be nice to them, okay? Everyone be nice. Okay, Ziggy? Everyone good? Okay, we'll see if this works, because I had a talk like this with Boo on the way to the vet this morning. And it seemed to have worked really nicely with him. He didn't howl as much as he normally does in the car, and he was on his best behavior. So does everyone understand what I'm saying? You're going to have 2 visitors today, Grandma and Grandpa, and they're coming here, and they're going to be nice to you, okay? Everyone's going to be nice to you. I'm here with Boo, and it's around 5:45 p.m. And Boo had a tooth extracted today. So I wanted to make a video and talk about his tooth extraction. I didn't really film much at the time because it was all, I don't know, it was kind of the spur of the moment. I had no idea that he was going to have a tooth extracted until a few seconds before it happened. So I just wanted to go over some things that have been going on with him lately, some signs and symptoms of a loose tooth, because it ended up that he had a loose tooth. And I just want to talk about his experience today in case you have a cat going through something similar or you notice something similar. So I don't know if you saw that, but there's some blood in his mouth because he had a tooth pulled. I'm just trying to keep it off of my, I don't want him to wipe it on me. I should grab a tissue. I want to do this fast because I just want him to relax and not do anything. And if I'm in the room, he wants to walk around and do stuff. So, Boo, let me wipe your mouth. So a few weeks ago, I noticed Boo had a little bit of drool coming out of his mouth while he was sleeping. in a cat tower. It wasn't a lot at all. It was just, I don't know, maybe like a ½ inch, an inch of drool. But I noticed that, you know, after dealing with a cat that had severe mouth problems, which was Ditto, I keep an eye on things like that. So, you know, it could be a situation where a cat is really, really comfortable and, you know, sleeping, because some cats drool in their sleep when they're really comfortable. So I just made an observation of it, and I said, okay, well, maybe that was the case. And then it happened again a few days or maybe like a week later. And then I made like another observation of it. So that is one of the first signs of a cat having some kind of mouth issue, would be drooling from the mouth. Again, sometimes it's just because they're very relaxed when they're sleeping, but sometimes it can be more than that. The next thing I noticed was it appeared that one of his fangs was longer than the other. Now, Boo has always had long fangs for a cat. As long as I've known him, everyone's like, wow, he has really long fangs. And the last time he went to a vet, which was almost a year ago, the vet said that Boo is long in the tooth, and chances are good that he would eventually lose his fang teeth, because that's what happens sometimes with some cats. Now, it can be genetic, or it also could be because he has FIV, and FIV cats are known to have issues with their teeth. So that was duly noted, and that's why when I was looking at Boo one day, I was like, it looks like one of his fangs is longer than the other. I hope it's not a situation where it's starting to fall out. So that was like another mental note that I made. Then what happened was a few nights ago, Boo was laying on my bed, and I have like a white comforter, and on top of that I have like a white duvet cover. And we're getting ready for bed, and Boo kind of, it was almost like a sneeze or something, like he shook his head, and some kind of liquid came out, and it was not blood, it was not red, but it was like a dark brown color. And I remember thinking, that's odd. I wonder if it's from the wet food that he had, because he's on new wet food recently, like he gets homemade raw food, and then he also gets some canned food. And I was like, well, maybe it's the new canned food he's on, because normally it would be more of a clear color or a lighter brown color if it was food. So that made me thinking, well, I hope there's not any kind of like bleeding going on inside of him, because they say that if a cat is bleeding somewhere inside and the blood gets dried up, it'll be like a dark brown or a black color. That's another thing to look out for, any kind of off-color liquid or excretions coming out of the cat. And then I think it was yesterday where I walked into my room and I saw what looked like a hairball had been thrown up on the rug. And then when I cleaned it up, I noticed again it was in a really dark colored liquid, which I was like, well, I hope this isn't dried blood. And then last night when I was getting ready for bed, Boo was laying on my white comforter, and I left the room to brush my teeth, get ready for bed. I came back in the room and Boo was gone, but there was a splatter of blood on the white comforter. Like, not a little bit. I mean, not a crazy amount of blood, but like enough where I was like, oh no, is he sneezing blood? So I was able to isolate him in this room, and he spent the night in this room. And then this morning when I checked on him, there was more blood in the room. There's blood by the window and blood on the blankets, at which case I was like, okay, he needs to go to a vet. I called his regular vet. They could not take him right away because they had a surgery this morning, but they scheduled me for like 11:15. And I was like, I have my own dental surgery today at 2 p.m. I don't think I'm going to be able to get him to the vet, back from the vet. And, you know, I wanted to make sure I had enough time to do what I needed to do. So I took him to a local animal hospital at 9 a.m. We got in right away. They looked at him right away. They opened his mouth. We looked inside. I mean, it was just filled with blood. His mouth was full of blood. And sure enough, the fang that I said was looking longer than the other one was actually loose, and they wiggled it. And yeah, so they said that's where his blood was coming from. So they pulled the tooth. Like, they literally just grabbed like a pair of pliers and pulled the tooth. Like in 1 second, the tooth was out of his mouth. They say that's actually the way they deal with something like that, because overall it'll cause him less discomfort and pain than to put him under, or however else you could deal with that, because they said that he's actually in pain because of the tooth being loose and the condition of it, and he's probably been in pain, but he's been acting normal. Like, he's been eating normal, no issues with him not eating. His activity level has been normal, no issues with his activity. Like, he has not been acting strange at all, other than over grooming, but that's due to other things. And I even talked to them about that. I said, could his over grooming have caused these mouth issues? And they said that it's completely unrelated. I don't know how unrelated that could be, because he does groom with his mouth, but they said, like, if his mouth was healthy, if his teeth were healthy, then, you know, he could groom all he wants. It's not going to have a negative effect on the teeth. But if there's an underlying condition there already, if there's a tooth there that's already, you know, somewhat loose, it potentially could aggravate it and make the condition worse. So Boo got his tooth pulled, no anesthesia, no painkiller, nothing. They just pulled it immediately. I guess it's kind of similar to when a child has a loose tooth and the tooth is loose and then you just pop it out. So that was him. They did prescribe him painkillers. He's on gabapentin twice a day and on antibiotics once a day. So he already had his antibiotic today and he had some painkiller, and I'm just going to wait another few hours before I give him his dinner with some more painkiller. Now, he has been bleeding since he's been home, but they said that should usually stop within 24 hours. They said it should stop by the end of the day. However, I also had a tooth pulled today, and I'm still bleeding from that also. It's been about 3 or 4 hours for me, and I had to have gauze in my mouth to absorb a lot of the blood. So I can understand why Boo's tooth might continue to bleed because he wasn't holding gauze in it. You know, it's not like you could give a cat gauze and say, okay, apply pressure where the tooth was. You can't do that. So there's going to be more bleeding for him than there was for me. Right now, mine has pretty much stopped, which is why I'm able to talk this much and film this video. But for a cat, it's going to be different. So also because Boo is FIV positive, I'm keeping him isolated in this room and away from the other cats. I want to wait until he stops bleeding for a good 24 hours before he reintegrates with the cats. I just want to make sure there's not going to be any blood. And when I came in here, I think as we saw in this video, he was bleeding. There was still some blood, but he's also jumping around, so it could be that when he's jumping, he's aggravating it. Also, he has been trying to groom himself a bit, and that could be aggravating it. So I have been trying to not spend time in this room and just let him rest. I don't think he's even slept today yet, so I don't know if the medicine he's on is affecting his sleep. He didn't really sleep much last night. I looked at the security cameras. He was pretty much out and about in the room. So I would like him just to get some really good sleep. But it could be good that he's not sleeping because, you know, they do say that you want to keep the head, you know, a little bit elevated. And it's not like you could tell a cat to use 2 or 3 pillows. It's not going to happen. So he's under observation. He's in the separate room, and that is what is going on with him right now. So if you have a cat who's getting a tooth extracted, or if you have a cat who has a loose tooth, or if you're noticing similar symptoms in your cat, this is the experience that Boo's having, and I just wanted to share it. Obviously, if you're noticing symptoms, get your cat to a vet, have the vet check out their mouth, because, you know, why keep the cat in pain if they could have the tooth removed and then the cat will not have that pain. Now, they also told me that I do have to call the regular vet and schedule a follow-up cleanup, like a tooth cleaning where they put the cat under general anesthesia and then clean all the teeth. I left a message with my vet about that, but I don't think it's something we're going to schedule until his mouth is healed from this extraction. So maybe in like a month or 2, we'll do a general cleaning and get that taken care of. So that was Boo's experience today. I find it so crazy and ironic that he had to have his tooth pulled today, the same exact day where I had to have a wisdom tooth pulled. I mean, what are the chances of that? It's like insane. I've never had a tooth pulled in my entire life since I was like a really, really small kid. And then the same exact day I'm having one pulled, Boo ends up having his tooth pulled also. It's so weird. So, yeah, that's the situation. I mean, I'm definitely glad that I noticed him bleeding yesterday versus noticing him bleed today, because that would have been so much worse, because here I am trying to recover from my extraction and then having to rush him to an animal hospital. Like, that would just not be fun. So it was really perfect timing to deal with him first and then deal with myself afterward. And it actually helped me, because as I was at the oral surgeon's office getting mine taken care of, I just kept thinking of Boo and, you know, saying, well, he had his removed without any Novocaine, nothing, and they just took it right out and he's fine. He's a trooper, and it just made everything a little bit easier. So good job, Boo. I hope you start feeling better. And I am basically going to keep an observation on him, check on him every so often, just to see where we're at as far as the bleeding is concerned, and make sure I clean up any blood in the room, and make sure he's on soft foods. So no crunchies for Boo, only soft foods. I've been giving him his medicine and some churros, which are soft treats, and he'll get some squeeze ups and only soft food. And even now, like going forward, I was just reading a book about how bad dry cat food is for cats' dental health, and how dental disease in cats is just so widespread. I even was talking about that to the vets at the animal hospital, and they were telling me it's so common, especially in cats once they hit the age of 6, 7, or 8. That's when it really starts, and Boo is going to be 8 this year. So they said it's not uncommon for cats. It's something very common. And then when I was like reading this book about how dry cat food could actually contribute to it and make it worse, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to get the cats off the crunchies. Thankfully, they really enjoy those freeze-dried chicken bites, so they could get those as treats instead, and they can have all of the wet cat food they want, and we'll look into other healthy options for them. But that's Boo's experience with his day of tooth extraction, and if you're watching this video, I hope it was helpful for you in some way. Thanks for watching. Bye. And now we have a special bond, Boo. We both had our teeth taken out on the same day, right? Me and you on the same day. Boo's like my spirit animal. Right, Boo?
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo. The Lucky Ferals.
It is 9 a.m. and today is going to be a gray and rainy day. Here's Splash and here's Simba. Let me tell you what they did this morning. So since the cats are not getting crunchies anymore, they're much more active early in the morning. Like probably starting around 4 a.m. I start hearing Splash and Simba moving around. This morning, I don't know, maybe around 5 a.m. I heard growling, and I was like, who's growling at who? None of the kittens are up here. Why would anyone be growling? So then I looked at the security camera footage and I was like, well, it looked like Simba and Splash were playing. And I didn't think anything of it. So then I just got up a little while ago. I wanted to sleep in a little bit, but the cats are, they're anxious for breakfast. And Simba does this thing where if I try to sleep in, he vomits like white foam. I'm starting to think he makes himself do that to get me out of bed, because he has nothing in his stomach, and he's like, okay, I'm just going to vomit this. So she's going to get up and clean it up, because that's always what I do. If he vomits, then I have to get up and clean it up. So I am definitely starting to think he's doing it intentionally. Anyway, so I just get up, and I'm starting to get ready to give them some food. And I walked into the room to open up the curtains, and let me show you what I just found. See this? This is the pom-pom toy that I put on the wand so the cats could play with it. And look what Simba did. He chewed through the string. So I'm really not happy about that, but at least it's a string. I'm thinking I need to go to like a craft store and buy similar string. that way I could just restring it myself. But I'm really not happy that Simba's doing this. I mean, why can't he just play nicely with these? But I think this is what he was growling at. I think he was growling at this pom-pom, and he was upset that it was on the string, so he bit through the string. We have to remember that Simba does have a history of growling at pom-pom, so I really think that's what it is. And right now he's staring at it like he hates it. So I gave the kittens some food last night. They did not finish all of it, which is surprising because they normally do. Maybe they were stressed out from all of the activity yesterday. So yesterday morning they witnessed Boo leaving in a carrier. They were kind of like, what is going on with that? And then they witnessed him coming home in the carrier. And then of course Grandma and Grandpa coming over, and just a lot of activity yesterday. And there's some changes down here too. Oh, look at this. They lost both of the balls from the turbo scratchers. So this is what the cats got yesterday. A brand new cat tower. It's the same exact cat tower that they had here. It's just a different color. So this one is all like beige. They had this one, then they also had one that had like brown accents, and I got the beige one just because it seemed like all of the cat fur on the last one, it was all like light colored cat fur. That's what I was constantly vacuuming off of it. So I'm thinking maybe this will help hide the cat hair better. Of course, Sammy has black hair, but the other cats are more of like a sandy color or brown. So it is a beautiful brand new cat tower. Grandpa put it together. He also took apart the old one, so that was a very, very big help. And this cat tower has a toy that hangs on it, and I don't know, I give that toy a few days. There's Sammy. You okay, Sammy? And another thing that happened yesterday was we took the slipcover off of this couch and put it in through the laundry and then put it back on the couch. And it was so nice to see my leather sofa again. It was so nice to see it, even with all of the pinholes in the arms from when Simba destroyed it. But I put the cover back on. The reason why I have this cover specifically is because it's like a thick canvas, and it's harder for them to get their claws through it and into the leather underneath. Otherwise, I would just like to keep this as a leather couch because it's so comfortable. This is like the most comfortable couch. One of the reasons why I wanted to get the cat beds off of this couch is so I could actually use it and like sit on it. So maybe now that everything has been in the laundry, I'll be able to do that because it's nice and clean. So what I would like to do is just sit down here on the sofa, maybe even bring my laptop down, get some work done, and that could definitely help them get used to me more. It is 9:20 a.m. Good morning, Boo. I just came into the room. We're going to do a room check to see where we stand as far as blood goes. It looks pretty good. I'm not seeing a whole lot of new fresh blood. There's some blood on this towel, but that's from yesterday. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of blood on the floor or anything. So there's some old blood from yesterday also. So today Boo needs to get his medicine. So the first thing he's going to get is his antibiotic, and I gave him some of the homemade raw food, and I put some Fortiflora on it, and that's how I eventually got him to eat his food last night. What's the matter, Boo? You don't want to eat? You don't want to eat? I put your Fortiflora on it. You love Fortiflora. So Fortiflora is a probiotic for cats. Not like one of the best products, but it also can act as an appetite stimulator. I used to use it with Ditto to get Ditto to eat more food. So that's why I gave it to Boo yesterday. Plus, because it is a probiotic and because Boo is on antibiotics, it's good for him to have it here. This is left over from yesterday, so after he ate all his food and got his medicine, I gave him some extra. Boo, I need you to eat that. What do you want to squeeze up on it? Okay, you want me to put a squeezy on it? Okay, so Boo has been a very, very good patient so far. I don't want to jinx anything, but he's been staying in the room. He has not been trying to get out of the room. I think everyone knows he loves this room. Like, this is his room, so he's really happy to be back in it. It looks like he got some sleep last night because there was not a whole lot of activity on the security camera, and he spent a lot of time on top of the day sofa. Yesterday during the day he was mostly underneath the day sofa, but then last night he was on top of it, which is a good sign also. So I just have to be really careful every time I walk in and out of this room. I still have a gate in the door, so I am hurdling the gate every time I come and go. But yeah, the goal is just to keep him in the room. I want to keep him in this room until there's 24 hours without any blood. Right, Boo? I mean, he looks good today. His mouth looks good. There's not like a whole lot of blood on his mouth or anything. And it's kind of funny because since I had a tooth extraction yesterday also, I'm kind of going with like where I am with my progress with where he is with his progress. Of course we're different because his kind of started falling out on its own and was very loose, and then mine was like totally yanked out and mine was totally fine otherwise, being broken and cracked. But yeah, so I am in zero pain, and I've been in zero pain ever since I went to the oral surgeon yesterday. They gave me local anesthesia, like Novocaine, whatever it is. And so obviously I could not feel the procedure. And even when that wore off, I had no pain. And I had no pain all of last night. And I have no pain today. Like my jaw is a little bit sore from obviously just the position that it was in, like when they were performing the extraction. But other than that, I have zero pain from this extraction, which to me is kind of mind-boggling. But then Grandma Farrell's like, well, it means you take after everyone else in the family, because it seems like a lot of people in the family have similar situations where they'll have like major surgery. Like Grandma Farrell had like broken wrists, and she's like, yeah, I never had any pain. Of course, I'm following the rules. I'm not eating anything hard or crunchy. I'm just eating soft food. But yeah, I'm really happy with that aspect of it. And then maybe it's the same with Boo. Maybe Boo doesn't have any pain either. But of course we don't know because he can't tell us, but he's acting normal. Like he's not hiding. He's not like moping around. I just need to, you know, get the antibiotic into him. Right, Boo? You look good, Boo. You look good, Boo. Yeah, you're still handsome, Boo. You're still handsome. And now we have a special bond, Boo. We both had our teeth taken out on the same day, right? Me and you. On the same day. Boo's like my spirit animal. Right, Boo? Good? I just gave Boo some squeeze up on his food. It's chicken squeeze up. Boo tends to like the squeeze ups more than the churros, but I'm very happy to have plenty of both in the house. And when the cats are sick, they don't feel good, or when I have to give them medicine, I find that the more exotic churro flavors work better for that. Like the ones with like crab or scallop or different flavors, not the plain like chicken or tuna. Okay, you could eat that. I hope his mouth is feeling okay. It might be harder for him to eat because like the tooth that he's missing is like his front fang, whereas the tooth I'm missing is like a rear wisdom tooth. And I've just totally been eating on the opposite side of my mouth. I don't think cats could really do that. But he also doesn't really have to chew this food. He just has to kind of lick it and swallow it. And yesterday afternoon when I was recovering, I was going back into that cat book and reading what it said about, you know, how bad crunchies are for their teeth, and how much better it is to feed them the raw food with the ground up bone. And the ground up bone is supposed to help keep their teeth healthy. I just crushed up some of the freeze-dried chicken and put that on his food. He really, really loves that. So sometimes when trying to get medicine into a cat, it's really just a system of continuously putting toppers on it until they eat everything. And I probably should have put the medicine in like a squeeze up or churu, but he hasn't really had the raw food and I know he likes it, so I thought that's why I was like, let me just put in the raw food, plus it's better for him. So yeah, I'm really thinking I need to double down on the homemade raw food that I've been making for the cats. A, because the cats love it, it's like their favorite food, and B, because it is healthier for them with regards to their teeth because it doesn't have any sticky carbs. The only carbohydrate in it would be like the wheatgrass powder that I put in, and I think I'm even going to stop putting the pumpkin in because the book that I've been reading, you know, and it makes total sense. I'm totally resonating with everything in this book, and it says you don't want to put fiber in a cat's diet because what it does is it makes the transit time through their digestive system shorter, so they're not going to absorb as many vitamins and minerals as they would without the fiber. And that's totally true. So it really, really has me rethinking a lot of the information that's out there with regards to, you know, cat food. So we're halfway through the food. I gave him the rest of the squeeze up and a little bit more of the Fortiflora. So when using a squeeze up as like an appetite stimulant or to encourage them to eat something, don't put the whole squeeze up on. Just put a little bit at a time and just refill it as they eat the food. Same thing with Fortiflora. Don't dump a whole package of Fortiflora on their food. Give them the least amount possible, just a little sprinkling of it. And then if they eat that, then continue with a little bit more. Another thing I should mention is that it's really good to find a vet or an animal hospital that will work with you and not against you and not do things to your cat that you don't give them authority to do. So that's one thing that I like about the vet that Boo's been going to, and also this animal hospital versus the other one is that this one will say exactly what they want to do, and then you're like, okay, yeah, let's do that. Like they ask for parental approval before doing anything or administering anything, whereas the other animal hospital, they would just do stuff and then they would let you know afterward, and I never liked that or approved of it. So Boo's almost done with all the food on his plate, which is good. Once he's done, then everyone could get seconds as far as their breakfast is concerned, because I know Stella, Splash, and Simba finished all their raw food. So I'm going to give them some canned food. And then I have to go check on the kittens downstairs and see where they're at, if I need to refill their platters. So giving them all they want to eat as far as like wet food goes, as far as low carb wet food goes, it's been working pretty good. So I'm just going to continue with that. It is 6:15 p.m. and I came in to check on Boo a few minutes ago. He's doing well. He was relaxing comfortably all afternoon. And I gave him some pets, and he was smelling the food that was left over from earlier today. He did not want to finish it. I guess he didn't like it. So I just gave him some of the leftover raw food from breakfast, and I put some Fortiflora on it. And I also put some of the freeze-dried chicken, which I, crush up very fine. So he can eat that. I did not put any medicine in it. If he gets another painkiller, he'll get that later today. I don't even know if he needs the painkiller though, because like I mentioned, I have zero pain. I've not taken one painkiller after my extraction, so I don't know if he needs it. But again, because I don't know, I've been giving it to him just because I think it'll help relax him, because it does have somewhat sedative effects. And also I want to keep him in this room. So they said he should stop bleeding by like the end of the day yesterday, and it appears to be the case. I've not seen any active bleeding today yet, but I just want to be sure and keep him separated for probably a few more days, mostly because he's really enjoying his alone time in this room. He has not made any attempt to get out. Like whenever I go in and out of the room, he doesn't even try to leave. So I think that's really good. I think he's just really enjoying his time. I have relaxing harp music on for him. I shut it off so I could film right now. I'm going to put it on once I'm done, and now I have to go and answer the phone. It's 7:24 a.m. and I just brushed all the cats, including Splash, as he was laying in his bed. And look how stunning he looks in his bed. Look how handsome he looks in his bed. His fur matches the color of the fabric. And it makes him look like a tough boy, right, Splash? The plaid makes him look very masculine. Right, Splash? I'm here with Boo. It is 7:37 a.m. I just gave him a little bit of raw food with his antibiotic, and I sprinkled some Fortiflora on it. But I made the mistake of walking in the room with the squeeze up, so he was looking at the squeeze up. He's like, I'm not eating my food until you put a squeeze up on it. So I had to put the squeeze up on it. And now I don't know why he's not eating. Why are you not eating, Boo? You love this food. Okay, I just put more of the squeeze up on it. He might be waiting for the freeze-dried chicken because that seems to be like crack for cats. Like, they love it and they're like addicted to it. What's the matter, Boo? Your mouth bothering you? What's wrong? You want the chicken? I just crushed up some of the freeze-dried chicken and sprinkled it on his food. I think he might have smelled it because the other cats had it on their breakfast in the living room. So I gave him the Pure Bites freeze-dried chicken versus the Stewart's. And the Stewart's appears to be like softer, if that makes any sense. I mean, they're both freeze-dried chicken, but for some reason, this one appears to be like more rigid. It's weird. So I'll see what he eats, and then I'll go get the Stewart's again. I don't want to hurt his mouth. What's the matter, Boo? You gotta eat your medicine. It's about 11:50 a.m. and I'm here in Boo's room. I opened the window for him. It's probably opened almost a foot, and it's supposed to be a beautiful, warm, sunny day today, so it'll be good for him to get lots of fresh air and sunshine. And I'm going to take away the dirty towel. So Boo has not been bleeding for over 24 hours now. I did not notice any fresh blood yesterday, so I'm going to take away the towels that have some blood on them from the other day. And I'm going to put the runner back on because it was laundered. And I'm also going to take the towels off of the day sofa and put the blankets back on. And yeah, so Boo had his breakfast and he had his medicines. So he had his antibiotic and he also had his painkiller. Another thing I did this morning was I ordered a stool test for Boo, and not a regular one through a vet. This is a microbiome stool test. I want to see what's going on in his gut as far as the bacteria in his digestive system, because that plays a very, very big part in his overall health, in his immune system, and also in his oral health. And if he's dealing with problems with his mouth, like obviously he is because he lost a tooth, healing his microbiome and rebalancing his microbiome can really help with that. So that's why I ordered the test today, and they had a coupon code, but then I paid extra for expedited shipping, because if I can get it in, like, let's say they ship it tomorrow, I get it the next day, and then I could, you know, have Boo's stool isolated while he's still in this room. So that's why I figure if I could keep him in this room a few more days, it'll be really easy for me to just get the stool sample for the test, mail it in, and then, okay, Boo's done in this room. He could be in the rest of the house again. That's why I paid for expedited shipping. The company has an address in California, so hopefully within 2 days I'll have the test. I'll have Boo's stool sample. I'll be able to send it back in, and then it should take a few weeks before we get the results and we could see what his microbiome is looking like. And the reason why I thought about that is because if you've watched some of the previous health-related videos on this channel, I mentioned that in the past I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, which was ulcerative colitis. And I was told by medical doctors that it's incurable, that there's really, nothing you could do diet-wise to heal your body. You just have to deal with a lifetime of medications and possible surgeries. And that didn't sit right with me, so I started digging around and researching and reading everything that I could find. And I came across a book that set forth a diet called the specific carbohydrate diet that basically resets your microbiome. And the book said the reason why you have the issue with your digestive system is because it's imbalanced. All you have to do is bring it back into a healthy balance, and then all of the symptoms of your so-called disease will go away and you'll be healed and cured. So that's what I did, and that's what I did. I followed the diet for several years, and I completely rebalanced my gut microbiome, and I completely healed my body, and I never had to take any more medications for that or anything. I was able to completely heal myself. And one thing that I noticed over the years is whenever I stayed on that diet and I was really strict with it, then when I went to the dentist, I never had any issues. Okay, the camera battery died and it took some time to recharge it. So what I was saying before is that the healthier my microbiome is, like the more it's in balance, then the better my dental visits are. That's one thing that I've noticed, that if I'm not paying attention to my digestive health, then when I go to the dentist, I am more apt to have some kind of cavities than when I'm paying attention to my digestive health. So I'm wondering if there could be a similar connection in cats. So I decided to order a microbiome test for Boo. So we can just see how it looks compared to like an average with regards to healthy cats. Now, the other issue with regards to that is what is considered a healthy cat, because if the vast majority of cats are eating, commercial dry food, they're going to have a vastly different microbiome than a cat that is eating like all raw food. So I really ordered the test more out of curiosity than anything. I'm thinking maybe there could be some helpful information there, but I just want to see what it says. It's 7:38 p.m. All the other cats are eating. I'm just about to bring some food into Boo. Let me show you what he's doing. Hello, Boo. Move in. Move in. You're not coming out. Move in. So this is the first time that he's actually been by the door. Usually he's just waiting for me here in the middle of the room. So it looks like he's feeling better. Earlier today he was having an issue with his left eye, like he couldn't open his eye for a while. And I tried to put some eye drops in. It didn't really work because he jumped away. So then I soaked a paper towel with some of the eye wash and I held it on his eye for a while. And he let me do that. And then he ended up taking a really long, solid nap this afternoon, which I think was good for him because I don't think he's been getting enough sleep. And I think it was the painkiller that he got this morning, because he was fine in the morning. He was fine when I gave him the antibiotics. That was fine. And then I gave him the painkiller, and then all of a sudden he was like not himself. He looked miserable. Like he could hardly open either of his eyes. Like he looked like he was in serious pain. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. I hope he doesn't have an eye infection. And I looked at all the security camera footage and I saw no indication of him hitting the eye, like nothing getting in it. Like I couldn't figure out what it was. So I don't know, maybe he got some dust in it. He was by the open window, so I don't know, maybe something flew in his eye for a while, but it looks to be better. He seems to be back to his normal self right now, so maybe he slept it off, whatever it was. They say that that painkiller, the gabapentin, lasts don't know, 4 to 6 hours. So it's definitely been 4 to 6 hours since he had it. So I'm going to leave him alone with his food. So this is some of the 4Health chicken and whitefish cat food that arrived today from Tractor Supply. This is a low-carb cat food, and it's a really good price also. And there are no strange ingredients in it. And of course he ate all the freeze-dried chicken off the top, and he's leaving the rest. So okay, so I just topped his food with some more of the chicken. I also added some Fortiflora, and I also added some vitamin C powder, and I did give him like 5 or 6 crunchies. So I went to Whole Foods today to buy some vitamin C powder because I was reading a book about cat food, specifically raw food for cats. And they mention that it's really important to supplement with vitamin C, especially if the cats are under stress. And all the cats have been under stress recently, and we do know that when there is a deficiency of vitamin C, it can have mouth issues. And, scurvy is a common ailment when there's a vitamin C deficiency. And I don't know, maybe that is part of Boo's issue with his mouth. Maybe he has some kind of vitamin C deficiency as an FIV cat. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to look into, but I just thought it was really interesting that the book I was reading today pointed it out, that it's really important to make sure the cats are getting enough vitamin C, not just in times of stress, but all the time, because with today's environment, with the level of pollution and toxins and just overall noise and activity, that a lot of cats are dealing with more stress than we know, and their bodies are not always manufacturing as much vitamin C as would be necessary for them. So it specifically said to get calcium ascorbate. I believe that's what it was. And I went to Whole Foods because they're like the only store open today that might have it, and they had it. So they say to start at a very, very small dose, and then every other day increase the dosage until bowel tolerance, which means until the cat gets loose stools. So I started with not even a teaspoon, maybe like 1/8 of a teaspoon, like a really, really tiny amount. And we'll see how he does. The nice thing about him being isolated in this room is that he has his own litter boxes, so I know what he's doing in the litter boxes. So anyway, he's enjoying his meal right now. I'm going to go see what the other cats are up to. I'm here with 33 pounds of chicken and chicken organ meat, and I am making homemade raw food for the cats. I've become a cat food factory. I've been making so much homemade raw food. Good morning, Boo. It is 9:05 a.m. Boo must be feeling better. He's meowing at me. So I just gave him some breakfast. This is leftover from last night. Boo really enjoyed the homemade food that I made last night. I ended up giving him 2 plates of it. He had a very big appetite, so that's good. And he ate it no problem. So this morning he's having some of the homemade raw food. This is from the last batch. It's the last pint from the last batch. And I mixed in some extra vitamin C powder. And I also mixed in his antibiotics, and I put some Fortiflora on top and some of the freeze-dried chicken. And I didn't think he was going to eat it right away, but he is. So now I'm going to go feed the kittens, and then I'll come back in here. I still want to brush him and check out the room. I don't see any signs of new blood. I think that's behind us, or at least I'm hoping that's behind us. So he's doing good. There's a whole bunch of freeze-dried chicken on the floor from last night. It got all over the place. So I need to vacuum this room also. I'm hoping Boo only has another day or 2 in this room. Once again, I ordered that stool test yesterday to test his microbiome, and I'm hoping it's here tomorrow. I just need to keep his stool isolated from everyone else's. Also, I continue to do reading about FIV, and I'm looking into the role of vitamin C and vitamin D, and it seems that the majority of cats with FIV do have low vitamin D status, And I've also read a study that says when they're given extra vitamin C, it does have a beneficial effect for them also. So I'm thinking those are two things that I want to make sure that his food is supplemented with. And, you know, I'm just going to make sure everyone's food is supplemented with that for general health purposes. Right, Boo? His eye looks good today. He's not squinting or anything. You okay? I'm going to leave. He might go back and finish. If he doesn't, then I'll put some more meal toppers on it. So Boo finished all of his food, and I just gave him some of the raw food from the new batch. This is what he really enjoyed last night, so we'll see if he eats it without needing additional toppers on it. So there is a little bit of fortiflora on it and a little bit of the freeze-dried chicken. I just want to see how much he eats because it is a different recipe. I was reading a book about food for cats that primarily covered the raw food diet for cats and different ingredients that are necessary. So it does have a different mix of supplements in it. And I'm curious to see how all the other cats will like it. They're going to have it for dinner today. I'm going to put them all back on raw food twice a day. So this morning, I gave the kittens food on separate plates, like how Boo's eating on a small plate. I gave the kittens food on separate plates. They devoured the homemade raw food. And since they ate it so fast, I was like, okay, you want a little bit of a can? So I opened up 2 small cans of like Fancy Feast, the low carb Fancy Feast, and I gave them each 1/8 of a can. So I don't know if they've eaten that yet. I have to go down and check on them. The other cats, Stella, Splash, and Simba, devoured their meal, and I gave them part of the 4 Health low-carb cat food from Tractor Supply. They didn't like it. There's such a major difference between like a plate of raw food and then a plate of canned food. I mean, it's day and night, so I can see how sometimes they don't like it. I'm hoping, Boo, that we could get a good poop today, okay? Can you give me a good poop today? Give me a good poop so I could send it in and then you could be a free man, okay?
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo. The Lucky Ferals.
I just got the microbiome test for Boo. It says kitty biome. It takes guts to be healthy. It says from diarrhea, hairballs, and GI issues to allergies and skin and coat problems, a healthy gut can improve your cat's life. So here's what we see when we open it up. 3 simple steps to a healthier cat. 1, assess. Test your cat's gut microbiome. Receive a report in about 2 weeks. Review it with your veterinarian or kitty biome. 2, restore. Use kitty biome supplements to replace bacteria that are missing and restore balance to your cat's microbiome. 3, maintain. Address ongoing dietary needs or symptoms. If your cat's gut is severely imbalanced, additional supplements may help support digestive health. And it comes with the gut health test guide. So here's what we get. We get a pair of gloves, 2 sample tubes, 1 pack of swabs, 1 plastic bag with absorbent sheet, 1 wooden stick, a return mailer, and a test kit box. If you order 2 tests, your box will contain twice the amount of each item listed above. This says, to collect a poop sample, you will need the test kit box and everything inside. For best results, we recommend discontinuing probiotics for 24 hours before collecting a poop sample. Boo had probiotics this morning. That means I can't collect a poop sample until tomorrow. So I'm going to have to wait for that. So here's everything that was in the box. We have the gloves. We have the 2 little containers of fluid that you put the stool samples in. And these are the sample tubes, and you stand up the sample tubes in here when you're collecting the poop and putting it in there. Then it comes with a wooden tongue depressor, and then it has 2 sterile cotton swabs. Cute little sticker. This is the mailer that you send the tubes back in with the samples, and then it has the guide that explains the rest of the process. It is 8:26 a.m. Good morning, Stella. How are you today? Good morning, Simba. How are you today? So Stella and Simba got weighed today. And so for the past week, they've been primarily eating low carb as much as they want. Now, they did have one day where they were eating more crunchies than I would have liked them to, which was the day of the extractions when Grandma and Grandpa were here. So all things considered, they both gained 0.2 pounds over the past week. So what I think I'm going to start doing is limiting their portions, because for the past day or two, they've been getting homemade raw food for every meal. And homemade raw food is much more calorie dense than canned foods are. So I think I'm going to limit them to about 2.5 ounces per meal, and we'll see how that goes this week and how much they weigh next week. Here's Stella. She's hanging out by this box. I want to cut windows and doors into the box and then give it to her as a cardboard cat house. She hasn't had one in years, and she used to love the one that she had. Good morning, Boo. Good morning, Boo. Here's Boo. So Boo's still in his room by himself. I spent some time with him yesterday. And here's the plan. So today is supposed to be the 3rd deworming day for the cats, and then like today's the last day, then they're done. But because I'm trying to get Boo's microbiome test done today so I can finally let him out of this room, I think I'm going to push off the dewormer another day or two. I want to see what today brings. So I have to scoop all the litter this morning, and then once the litter is scooped, the next time Boo makes a poop, I can collect a sample for the test, and then he's done in this room. The only reason I've been keeping him in this room right now is because I want to keep his poop isolated from everyone else's, so that way I know which poop is his, and I can send it in for the test. And it's going to be harder to keep him in this room if I let him out. Like, he's been in this room and happy, so that's why I've been keeping him in here. But if I let him out to the rest of the house and then try to put him back in here, it's probably going to be more difficult to keep him in here. I don't want to jinx anything, but he has not tried to come out of this room once. He has not tried anything. He has not been howling at the door. He has not been crying. How's your mouth? You could see he's missing his tooth. So he's just been on his best behavior, right, Boo? So that's why I don't want to change anything. Right now, he's still in his recovery mode. So it's been... Today is the 5th day after the extractions. So, you know, it's been a good 5 days for me and for him. I'm also not going to give him his antibiotic today because of the microbiome test. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the microbiome test comes out, considering he's been on antibiotics for the past 5 days. It's going to be really interesting to see how the microbiome test comes out, considering he's been on antibiotics for the past 5 days. And that will wreak havoc on the microbiome, right, Bo? But as you can see, he's in a good mood. He's been rolling around a lot over the past 2 days, like whenever I try to pet him or play with him. And I have not been trying to play with him much at all because I want him to rest, relax. I don't want him, dislodging the blood clot that forms in the tooth socket. So we had a little bit of playtime with the wand toy yesterday, but it was just very gentle playtime. And you can see he's back to rolling around. Boo has not been rolling around in quite some time, so it's good to see him rolling around. I think there's some freeze-dried chicken on the rug, and he has some on the back of his neck right now. Yeah, that's some freeze-dried chicken. Okay, Boo. You happy, boy? He's thanking me. He's thanking me because he says he feels much better now, right, Boo? So I did not give Boo painkillers yesterday. And I did not give him painkillers the night before yesterday, because the last time I gave him the painkillers was when he had that like weird eye issue. And I mean, he just looked horrible. I don't know what was going on with that, but I don't know, maybe he was just all doped up. So I didn't give it to him, and he's been fine. I have zero pain, so I'm going to assume that his situation is similar because he's been acting normal. He's not been hiding. He's not been lethargic. Like, his behavior has not been the behavior of a cat in any kind of pain at all. Okay, Boo. All right. So now I'm going to start scooping litter. I'm going to start here. Then I'll do all the other upstairs litter boxes. Then I'll go downstairs, scoop the litter. Once all the litter is scooped, then everyone can have their breakfast. Okay, Boo? So also yesterday and the day before, I've been feeding the kittens on separate plates, separate bowls. I'm trying to get them used to eating separately, so when I give them the dewormer, they'll all have their portion. Another reason why I want to wait on the dewormer is because sometimes to get the other cats to eat it, I have to isolate them in this room. So, like if I want Stella or Simba to eat their dewormer, make sure no one else is eating it or they don't walk away, I put them in this room by themselves, and then they take care of that. So that's another reason why I'm hoping, Boo, that we could get a good poop today, okay? Can you give me a good poop today? Give me a good poop so I could send it in, and then you could be a free man, okay? All right, Boo. This morning, the cats are getting homemade raw food with a little bit of freeze-dried chicken on top. They're getting 7 individual bowls, and Ringo and little Eva are sharing a bowl. I don't know why. There's plenty of bowls. Someone needs to move over. So what I did with this batch of raw cat food is I chunked up some of the boneless meat. So they get small bone fragments about the size of a grain of rice when I grind the chicken with bones. And then there was also some boneless meat that I used. And what I did with that was I cut it into small pieces. I don't know, maybe like an inch square, maybe a half-inch square, to give them some texture, which is good for their mouths. I did not do that to all of the boneless meat, maybe like half of the boneless meat that I used. So I use a calculation that's based on like 30% of bone. When I'm using chicken drumsticks with bone, have 30% bone, and then chicken thighs with bone have 15% bone. So based on those calculations, I then figure out how much additional meat to add to that, because I want to end up with around 10% bone. When a cat eats a whole mouse, they're getting about 5% bone. And when they're eating, let's say, a whole bird, like a small bird, they're getting about 10% bone. So between 5 and 10% bone should be a normal ratio for a cat if we're going to base that upon like what their prey consists of. So that's where the calculations come from. So they're all enjoying their food this morning, which is good. I'm going to go upstairs, see what the upstairs cats are doing. Then I'm going to come back down and I'll clean up the plates. I'm not going to give anyone seconds. Everyone had 2.75 ounces of food, plus a tiny bit more because of the freeze-dried chicken on top. So that should be plenty of food for them. Boo ate all of his food except for one of the chicken chunks. I'm going to give him a little bit more because I do have a little bit left over. So this is my big mixing bowl. This is like my new method of mixing the food for the cats. And I'll give him, I don't know, maybe like another ounce, half an ounce. So I just gave him a small portion with some freeze-dried chicken on top, and then I'll give the rest to the downstairs cats. Look what they did down here. They licked their plates clean. It's nice to know that they like my food. So this is what they're getting. They're getting a very small portion of homemade raw food, just basically what was left in the bowl. And they're getting a little bit of freeze-dried chicken on top and 2 of the blue wilderness treats. Look at the new water bowl that I got for the cats. I got it at Hobby Lobby. It was on sale. And I really like it because it's like a footed bowl. So it's a bit elevated. And they look really pretty and cute. And it looks like the cats like them, so I might actually go buy another one or two of them, because I feel like all the water bowls in the house are really old and need to be updated. But I was waiting to see if any of the cats were actually using them, and it seems that they really like them. What's going on here? Oh, you still hungry? You want more food? You want more food? Okay. I'll give you guys, I'll open a can. You could have like a little bit from a can. Okay? That's it. Because you guys are still growing kittens. Here we go. Want more food? Yeah, they lick those bowls clean. I opened up a 5.5 ounce can of this 4Health chicken and whitefish dinner for the cats. And then I split it up 7 ways. And that's what they're getting, just a little tiny portion, that's it. It is 11:30 a.m. and this was a beautiful bunch of catnip that I've been drying out by the windows. I had it hanging by this binder clip. It was just like hanging by the windows like this, and it was all dried out, and I was just about to harvest it off of this bunch. I was going to harvest it into a container, make my own dried catnip, and look, the cats got to it. Like, I don't know if it was Sammy or Nancy or what. I'm going to blame Sammy because she's the jumper. And someone was able to jump up to the window, get this off of where it was hanging. And it looks like they've eaten all the catnip. So there's some cardboard down here from where they were tearing up a box. And there's also some catnip. And there's Nancy. I blame Nancy and I blame Sammy. Sammy's hiding right now. So this is where it was hanging. The binder clip was hanging here off of like this old curtain hook. And here is the windowsill. So someone stood on the windowsill and they got the binder clip off. So I'm going to blame Sammy because she's small enough to do that. Good morning, Boo. It is 8:45 a.m. Boo has had 2 squeeze-ups this morning. And I'm giving him his 3rd squeeze up. The reason why is because I'm trying to get him to poop. I put some fish oil in the first one. And if a cat has like constipation or if you want them to poop, it's good to give them some oil. Same thing for humans. Take a teaspoon of cod liver oil or a teaspoon of olive oil first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. That gets things moving. So I'm giving Boo a bunch of squeeze-ups to try to get things moving for him. I also gave him the fish oil. But his system might be off because of the antibiotics that he's been on. So, yeah, I'm going to give him his 3rd squeeze-up, and then I got to get moving with everyone else in the house. So here's Boo. He ate about half of his food, and crunchies are like gold around here, so I literally just give him 4 crunchies, and hopefully he'll finish the rest of his food. All right, it's snack time for the kittens. They each get 1 or 2 little treats that they have to eat out of my hand before they have their meal. Ready, guys? Let me sit down. I gotta sit down. Move, I gotta be at your level. Come on. Let me sit down. Hey, Ringo, good morning. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Here. Whoops. Oh, Richard got a double. You got a double. Here, Nancy. There were 2 stuck together. Here's Iggy. Okay. Who's next? Ringo. Ringo. Look at what's going on here, guys. So I had a talk with the cats before I put their food down, and I specifically told them, I said, everyone's eating and everyone's going to pick a bowl. And look what they did. This is the first time. They all picked their own bowl. And they're all eating. Little Eva just backed away. I don't know why. Maybe she doesn't like the food. I noticed that little Eva tends to like canned food better than the raw food. But all 7 picked a bowl and they were all eating. I hope she doesn't have a problem with her teeth or anything. I think she's just not the biggest fan of this food. The other cats really enjoy it. Little Eva, why are you not eating? Well, she eats the canned food fine. So the goal of doing this is to get them all eating out of their own bowl at the same time. So, where you going, Eva? So that when I give them the dewormer, they all eat their dewormer dose. You gonna go use the litter box? You gonna go use litter? Okay, you go use litter. Oh, I'm sorry, did you want a pet? No, she's afraid of me. She doesn't want pets. The whole point of this exercise with giving them their individual bowls is to get them all eating at the same time. So when I give them the dewormer, either later today or tomorrow, hopefully, they will all eat their dose without me having to chase one of the cats around trying to get them to eat. And it's usually little Eva that I have to try to get to eat. Now, when I do give them the dewormer, I've been giving it to them in baby food. So they all tend to like it. And they all lick it up. And I just give them like 2 heaping teaspoons of the baby food. And it's either chicken or turkey that I've been giving it to them. Sometimes I give them beef also. But yeah, they're doing good. They're eating their breakfast. I'm going to go upstairs, see what the other cats are up to as far as their breakfast and get the morning moving. Look at this. So I just distributed some of the leftover food to the bowls. And there's little Eva. She was eating it. Maybe she was only tasting it. There she's going to another bowl. Maybe she doesn't like eating so close to the other cats. I don't know. So for each meal, I've been giving the cats roughly 1.5 pints of food. So about 3 cups of food, which I then mix about a cup of warm water into. So you figure 3 cups of food plus a cup of water, so that ends up being probably around 4 cups of food. So that'll be around 32 ounces. And there's 11 cats, so they're each getting almost 3 ounces of food. So that's been working out really well. It's a really good portion for them. So the next time I make the raw food, I'm going to pack it in both the 1 pint containers as well as the smaller 1 cup containers. So a pint is 2 cups. So those are the containers I've been using when I freeze the homemade raw food, just because I can store more in the freezers that way. But I also had the 1 cup containers that I haven't really been using, but I'm going to start using them more. I'm probably just going to use them to get rid of them because I'm almost done with all of the pint containers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one of the 5.5 ounce cans of the 4Health, and I'm just going to divide it among the 8 bowls. And anyone who wants to eat that, probably little Eva, can eat that. I put the canned food in the bowls and she went straight to the canned food. Today is the first day or the first morning that she's actually been approaching me. It was like she was like, I want canned food or I want different food. But even when I opened the can and I held the can out to her, she hissed and backed away. She didn't come near the can to smell it or anything. But she is making small progress. Look what they've done to the blankets on this daybed. They've made like a little door opening where they just easily pop in and out. It's almost 10:30 and I've been playing with Boo. We've been playing with this wand toy over here, and Boo's been under the day sofa. He's been playing so much like Sammy, like how Sammy plays. And I just left the room because I wanted to get him a salmon squeeze up. He still has not pooped yet. And usually when I feed the cat salmon, that'll help them poop. And he had salmon for dinner, right, Boo? You had salmon for dinner. But you still haven't pooped yet. So I thought I would give him a salmon squeeze up, but we don't have any left. So I'm going to give him some churros. Okay, I just gave him a tuna with salmon churro. It's a pink one. And he's eating that. I think I'm going to go get ready for bed while he eats that. I'll give him the other one right now so he'll have 2 to work on. And then I'll come back in and hang out with him. Nancy has been banished to the downstairs because she was just trying to attack Boo in the living room.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo. The Lucky Ferals.
It is 8:30 a.m. I just came in the room and it's deworming day. So Boo is getting a chicken churro with the parental pomawait in it. And hopefully he'll eat it. I do have to put some freeze-dried chicken on top to entice him. If he doesn't finish it, I'll give him some more churro on it. And then hopefully he'll be done and then he could get his meal. It smells like he took a poop. And look at all that litter near the litter box. So I'm hoping that's from a poop scratch. I'm gonna go grab a little container to put the poop in so then I could process it for the microbiome test. So because Boo has not pooped in a few days, I got like a perfect specimen. It's like really big. So it'll be easier to get a sample out of it. And he just licked up all of his churro and now he could come out of the room. Boo, now you could leave the room. You could leave the room now. So Boo was in the room for exactly 1 week. 1 week ago today, I took him to the animal hospital. I left here almost at 9 a.m. and right now it's about 8:30 a.m. So he came out of the room. I don't know how happy he is to be out of the room, but he's out of the room. That was the carrier that he used. Is he gonna go back in? Yeah. He's like, I'll go back in this room. All right, Boo, I gotta get everyone else to get their medicine. Then you could eat breakfast, okay? This is how the kittens are getting their dewormer today. So they're each getting about 1/3 of a jar of turkey baby food. It might also be chicken baby food. Then I measure out 2 milliliters of the dewormer and I try to inject it into the middle of the baby food, kind of like a jelly donut. You know how you have jelly injected into the middle of the jelly donut? So that's what I try to do. On a few of them it leaked out, but that's fine. I'm gonna top them with just a few crunchies. Maybe Nancy will eat it. And hopefully they will all eat every bit of food in their bowl. Okay, I got 5 eating over here, and of course it's Ziggy and little Eva that are not eating over here. So there's little Eva. She's eating on the other side of the coffee table, and Ziggy's not eating. Ziggy, go eat your bowl. You have a bowl over there. I don't want to scare anyone, so that's why I'm not going to go grab her bowl. Once everyone's done, what I need to do right now is I just need to keep her away from everyone else's bowls. So I was able to isolate Ziggy on the steps, and what I did with her was I mixed the medicine more into the baby food, and I also put some of the freeze-dried chicken on it. So Ziggy only ate a little bit of her food because all the other cats are trying to eat it. I need to be able to isolate her somewhere where they're not going to be able to get to it. Okay, so what I had to do was I had to give everyone some of the homemade raw food. And they're all eating it except for little Eva, but her bowl's over here so she could eat it. And I was able to get Ziggy to see her on the far left there. So I gave her the bowl with the medicine and she's eating it again. Alright, so I refilled everyone's bowl. There's little Eva walking around. The goal is just to keep everyone away from Ziggy. And there's Ziggy. She's eating her food over there in the corner. I gave her some raw food on top of the medicine food, so hopefully she'll finish her bowl before anyone else can get to it, like little Eva. So here's Goldie. She's eating off of little Eva's bowl. There's Ziggy. She got a few chicken chunks in hers, and she dragged them out of the bowl and onto the rug, which I'm not happy about. That's why I always feed them on the tile portion of the floor down here. So that way if they do something like that, then it's easier to just wipe it clean. Richard! So I'm going to call this mission a success. Ziggy ate the vast majority of her food with the medicine. And there goes Richard wanting to finish it off. Okay, so since Boo pooped this morning, I'm here with the kitty biome kit and Boo's poop. And Boo is here too. Hello, Boo. And I'm going to see if I could finish his poop test. It is mail time. Let's see what the cat's got. So here we have a card. Look how cute it looks, like Simba wrapped up in toilet paper. This says, hope your day is filled with good sheet. That's so cute. This says, just a note to let you and the cats know I watch you every day. Isn't this such a Simba look-alike? Bye for now from the Heart Craig. Yeah, I totally agree. This looks exactly like Simba. Fortunately, he's never gotten himself into the toilet paper like this, but thank you so much for this adorable card. We hope you're doing well. So now we have some packages from Sharon. Let's see what she sent to the cats. Check that out. That's a cat bed. And this says, "Hi LF's mom. Just wanted to send a few things. Hope you like them. Thanks for the great videos. Hugs and purrs, Sharon and Sunday." Thank you so much, Sharon and Sunday. So Stella, Simba, Splash, and Boo have really been enjoying their cat beds. And I think Sharon wanted to send some for the kittens. This is a cute bed. It kind of looks like wood. Like this material reminds me of almost like a wood grain. That's really nice. It's very, very soft. And look at this bed. Isn't this cute with all the little cats? It's cats with yarn and it says meow. And my cats absolutely love these beds. They're really soft. They have a nice high sides. They love curling up in them. So this is wonderful. Thank you, Sharon. And there's a pink one. It's a really nice pink plaid. I wonder who this one should go to. Oh, wow. Look at this. It's like a tie-dyed fabric. That is so cool. I feel like maybe this should be Richard's because Richard is just like so laid back. Like out of all the kittens, he is the most laid back. So maybe he would like this one. He kind of has this Simba vibe going on. And look at this one. It's red with butterflies on it. I think Sammy would look really nice in a red bed just because she's a black and white cat and Boo looks really stunning on red. So I think Sammy might really like this one. Thank you very much, Sharon. And look how cute this one is. It's like a salmon pink color and it has little flowers all over it. I think little Eva would love this one. This just reminds me of little Eva for some reason. I think she'd love it. Thank you so much. And here we have another package. Oh, and what's in here? Oh, check this out. So here's another bed. This is number 7. So it looks like all of the kittens will have a beautiful handmade bed. And who should get this one? This is really nice with the flowers. Maybe this would be Ziggy or Goldie. Let me know in the comments section who you think should get each bed. So I had mentioned to Sharon that the inserts for the beds fit perfectly in the cat towers that I have for the cats, and she sent a whole bunch of inserts so now I could put them in the cat towers and keep the cat towers nice and clean. Look at this one. It's so cute with the blues and the planets and the moon. And look at that one with the dragons. And check this one out with the fast food, the tacos and the burgers. And this one's like a tie-dye. And this one reminds me of like a retro plaid, which is really cool. And then here's another one. And look at this one. It looks like it has like hedgehogs or porcupines. I'm not sure what you would call that. And we have a blanket here. This is a really nice plush blanket. Isn't that cute? And here's another blanket with sunflowers all over it. Thank you so much, Sharon. You are totally spoiling the cats. They are going to be so nice and comfy with these blankets and these beds. And here's another package. This one actually just arrived today. Let's see if I could get this open, or do I need to get scissors? Oh, I think I got it. This one has a lot of tape on it. So here's another round for the cat towers. And there's another one with the planets. And look at that one with all the cats on it. It's so cute. And this one has a bunch of cats on it. And then here's another one with all the cat faces. And look at this one. Look how colorful with the cat faces. And here's more cats. So I'll be able to pick and choose which ones I want to put in the cat towers. And then I can even alternate them. I have enough to keep a set in all the cat towers and then another set in the wash. And then just alternate them. So that's awesome. Thank you so much, Sharon. And look at this quilt. Isn't that pretty with all the different browns? This is like perfect for fall, but the cats love to use these quilts year round, so I might use it before then. And look at the back, it's a really nice plaid. This would actually complement the plaid autumn blankets that I have for the day sofa. So thank you very much. And the one nice thing about using these smaller quilts on top of another blanket is it just makes it so much easier to toss things in the wash. It's much easier to toss one of these smaller blankets or these smaller quilts in the wash than one of the bigger blankets. So I love layering things when it comes to the cats. Oh, and look at this one. It is so puffy. It's so cute with the different animals. I see a bunch of snakes and a lion, another lion. Yeah, it's like lions and snakes. They're so cute. And the back is teddy bears. And here's another puffy quilt. And this one is lots of florals. And the back is elephants. And look at this one. These look very, very comfortable for the cats. I think they're really going to enjoy laying on these. These are such cute fabrics. And on the back we have teddy bears. Oh wow guys, check this out. So I mentioned that I could use something to put on top of the trampoline because the cats kept taking the blankets off the trampoline. And look, I have a trampoline cover. And not just that, it has ties on it. So I could actually tie it around the legs and keep it on. That is awesome. And I love this material. Look at that material. Isn't that awesome? And then the other side is plaid. That is so cool. Thank you so much, Sharon. You do such a beautiful job on all of these items. So there are 7 cat beds, one for each of the kittens. And there are 7 blankets and quilts. So they'll each get a blanket or a quilt. And I'll get a cover for the trampoline. And now I also have inserts for all the cat towers. That is just awesome. Thank you again, Sharon, so much. So this is what the round insert looks like in the cat towers. You can see it's a perfect fit. And that way when there's like cat hair accumulating in the corners or in the sides, I just have to pick it up, take it out, throw it in the wash. Thank you so much. And that's what it looks like from a distance. Really nice and neat. So much better than the other towels that I was using in the past. Okay, so this is what's going on here. I took off the other beds that were on this day bed, and now I could fit 5 across. I can only fit 4 of the others across because they're bulkier. But with these, I could fit 5 across, so that's good. One of them is kind of sharing space with the cat tower, so we'll see what happens there. But this will be great if the cats use all 5 of those. And then the other 2 I put here on this chair because the cats love laying on this chair. I don't know why, but there's usually 1 or 2 over here. See, there goes Sammy. And there's usually 1 here. So I had some of the quilts that Sharon sent in the past on these, but they keep moving the quilts off. So maybe they'll use these beds here and we'll see what happens. And we'll see if they use these later also. And I just put one of the round inserts in this cat tower. Looks really good. It is 11:15 a.m. and Nancy has been banished to the downstairs because she was just trying to attack Boo in the living room. Okay, so I was going to show you Boo, but Richard wanted to go downstairs, so he jumped the gate to go down and be with Nancy because the 2 of them like being together. And we would have no problems if it wasn't for Nancy right now. She is just like, I don't know. She's trying to be alpha the whole house, and it's not going to work, Nancy. Not going to work. You better learn how to get along with everybody, okay? So here's Boo. He was in the living room with me. I'm working on my computer trying to get some work done today because it's been a crazy, hectic week. And he was minding his own business, just relaxing. And I'm trying to keep him relaxed, you know, because we're both still recovering from our tooth extraction a week ago. It's been 1 week ago yesterday that we both had our tooth extracted. So, you know, I'm still recovering. I still can't even eat crunchy food or anything. And Boo's still recovering also. So I just want to keep him calm and happy. Yesterday was the first day out of this room in a week. So he didn't want to go in my bedroom where Stella, Splash, and Simba are. So he was hanging out with me in the living room and everything was fine. And he moved over to the play rug. I was sitting on the sofa and he was sitting in the middle of the play rug. And then all of a sudden Nancy decided, oh no, first, so what happened was So I was sitting on the sofa and Boo was sitting near me, and then all of a sudden Nancy starts climbing onto like the back of the sofa, and she's moving really, really slow, and she's moving toward Boo. And then Boo started like growling at her and letting her know like, don't come near me or else you're gonna, you know, you're gonna regret it. So then she backed away, and she was in the bed that Splash likes to lay on. Like, Splash's bed is on one of the sofa cushions right now, and that's where she was. So she went in there. So then Boo moved over, and he moved over to the play rug, and he was sitting in the middle of the play rug, minding his own business. And then, of course, Nancy has to start, like, approaching him, and not just approaching him, but like approaching him with her tail wagging, like she's ready to attack Boo. So I watched it for a little while, and then I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna just kind of you know, distract Nancy. So I moved some there was like leftover plates from breakfast, from when the cats were eating breakfast. I moved it over toward Nancy, figuring it would distract her. Maybe that's what she wanted. Maybe she just wants food. Nope, it didn't work at all. So she kept trying to approach Boo. So then finally I kind of went to Boo's side, and I was petting Boo. And I was like, you know, Nancy, Boo is my boy. You know, don't bother Boo. Boo is the king cat of this house, so don't mess with Boo. But nope, she wanted to mess with Boo. So she got within, I don't know, a foot and a half of Boo, maybe 2 feet of Boo. And like they were both like making these weird howling noises, like really strange howling noises, like when two cats are just about to get into a fight. At which point I just stood between them, and I was like, okay, Nancy, you gotta go. You gotta go downstairs. And I just was trying to move her, but she didn't want to move. So I just kept like standing closer and closer to her, making her back up. Finally, I tried to pick her up, and she wiggles around so much, so I had to put her down. And then I was able to finally get her to go downstairs, because I just kept walking toward her going, Nancy, you have to go downstairs. Nancy, you have to go downstairs. Nancy, you have to go downstairs. And I kept just walking toward her wherever she went. I just kept walking toward her going, Nancy, you have to go downstairs. And I pointed toward the downstairs. Eventually, she just went downstairs. She is so smart. That cat is so smart. It's crazy. But Boo says he's smart too. Yes, Boo, you are very smart also. So I told Nancy that, you know, if she can't behave and be nice to the cats, then she can't come up here. So she's just going to have to stay downstairs. And then a little while after that is when Richard decided he wanted to go down there. So I figured, let me just pick up a camera and document this right now. I didn't document it while it was happening because I didn't have the camera near me. And a lot of people think what they see on these videos is the only thing that goes on, and that's so not the case. It's just such a small fraction of the day in the life of these cats and with their interactions. But I thought this was interesting for me to document for myself, because Boo's been out of the room for a day, and here we have Nancy trying to assert dominance over Boo. So we'll see how this plays out. Right now, Nancy is the troublemaker, much more so than any of the other cats. Right, Boo? It's 11 p.m. Look at what's going on over here. So what I did a few minutes ago was I sprayed some of the pet remedy in all of the new beds. And this is what's happening. So Ringo and little Eva are definitely reacting to the pet remedy. And that's Richard also. They love it. So Pet Remedy is made from essential oils, and it has valerian in it, which makes cats do crazy things like this. The cats love like rolling in it, and it's one of the tools that I use if I need to get cats into like a carrier. It's also known to relax the cat. So here we have the other three. I put like a tiny spritz in each bed. So last night I looked at the security camera footage, and 4 of these beds were in use at once. So we'll see what happens tonight. Look at this. Look at Goldie. She's rolling around in that bed. Nancy's in this one. Who's over there? I think that's Ringo, or that little Eva. Sammy just jumped on Nancy. Look at this. I heard something weird and then Nancy was doing that. She's like standing on the glass. And look at what's going on. And this cat has a collar. So there's a tuxedo outside and it has a collar.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Hydrox, Ditto, and Boo. The Lucky Ferals.
It's 11 a.m. and I just walked past the room and saw this. So Boo is hanging out by the window, and look who's watching Boo. Nancy. So Boo does not look too happy right now. At all. And it looks like Nancy's stalking him. So I just gave Boo some pets and I gave Nancy some pets. And now Nancy is... She looked like she was going to pounce on Boo. Boo just hissed at her. Boo's giving her dirty looks and hissing at her, so she better watch herself. You better watch yourself, Nancy, okay? Because you could go back downstairs. I don't have to let you guys up. You okay, Boo? You okay? So let me tell you what happened. It's 11:25. And Boo was sitting here by the window. Nancy had left the room. She was walking around. And I saw her in the hallway. So I was like, hey, Nancy, how's it going? And I was petting her. And I was having a talk with her. And I was telling her that she's a nice girl. She's nice. You know, I was trying to, you know, just talk some sense into her. Literally, the minute I stopped petting her, she runs into this room and jumps on Boo. Like, takes a flying leap onto Boo. And I just started yelling at her, and then she went under the day sofa. So then I picked up the blankets that are covering the day sofa, and I told her she has to go downstairs. She ran right downstairs. So she's smart enough to know go downstairs, but I don't understand why she's trying to attack the cats. You okay, Boo? Boo does not need to be attacked. Right, Boo? You okay? So there wasn't really that much of a fight because like Nancy just took a running leap onto Boo, and then he backed up and then she backed off, but I don't know what the hell's wrong with her. You okay, Boo? You okay? You right? Let's fix this. Let's fix this, Boo. We'll make it nice and neat again, okay? It is around 3 p.m. And I don't know if you could see this, but through the greenhouse there's a skunk. And I've never seen a skunk around here during the daytime. I don't know if this skunk is well. I don't know if there's such a thing as a rabid skunk. The skunk looks really, like it's not really white, it's more like dirty white. So, there it is. Yeah, I'm gonna go inside. I don't need any issues. It is 3:30 p.m. and here's Sammy. Hello, Sammy. Sammy loves this cat tower. She's so happy here. So I decided to call animal control and ask them about the skunk because as long as I've lived here, I've never seen a skunk wandering around during the day. And also it did not look healthy. It was kind of stumbling. So I said, let me just call, see what they would do. So I talked to the woman at Animal Control. She was very, very nice. And she was saying that it could be all different things. It could be distemper, not necessarily rabies. It could just be old age. It could be poison. Maybe someone left poison out for the skunks. It could be that it was hit by a car. So, we're talking about the whole skunk issue. And she says, by state law, unless it's on someone's property and it's like injured or something like that, they can't come out and do anything. So she said, if I see it on my property and it's visibly injured, then they can come out and do something. So I was like, all right. And so then I started asking her about the TNR waiting list because I'm still on it. I got myself on that list back in September and now it's April. So we're talking 7 months ago. So I asked her about it. So I said, can I ask you a question? What's the status of your TNR waiting list? I was on it back in September. I never heard anything about it. And she goes, yeah, you're still on it. If you haven't heard back, you're still on it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was asking her about the situation. And she said, well, what happens is sometimes people get bumped because if there's a hoarding situation, that takes priority. And some other people, like if they know somebody, that takes priority. And it also depends on the number of cats that can take priority. So she's making all these excuses as to why some people have been on the list a very long time. So then I was asking her, I was like, well, what can help that situation? Like, how can that situation be helped? Is it a money issue? Is it a personnel issue? Is it a space issue? So she told me it was all three. She said they don't have enough space there because they have to house the cats while, they're recovering, I guess, 24 hours, 48 hours or whatever from the surgeries. So she's saying they don't have enough space to put all the cats, and obviously they would need more people to handle more than they're currently handling. And of course, everything takes money to do. So she was saying like it's multiple faceted. And I was like, oh, okay. And so then we're talking about the private rescues. And I was saying, hypothetically, if someone opened up a private rescue, would that be helpful for you guys? She goes, oh yeah, that would be helpful. She's like, hypothetically, if it was a really big rescue and it could handle a lot of cats, it was a good size operation. She said that would be wonderful. She goes, but that's a pipe dream. That'll never happen. At that point, I got so mad. I didn't let her know I was mad, but I was pissed off, like internally pissed off, because anybody who has that attitude, if you have an attitude that something is a pipe dream and something will never happen, guess what? It will never happen. In order for something to happen, someone first has to believe that it can happen. Someone first has to be able to visualize it in their head, in their mind, in their thoughts as already existing. If you can picture it in your brain, if you can picture it in your thoughts, then it can exist in reality. And the problem that we have with regards to TNR issues, cat issues, is that we have people that have negative attitudes that say things like, oh, that's just a pipe dream, that'll never happen, that will never exist. Well, guess what? It will never exist for you if you keep thinking like that. If you continue with that attitude, that problem will never get better. If you can't visualize a solution, there will never be a solution for that problem. And that's the problem that we have. Right, Sammy? Sammy says, right. Sammy says, that's horrible that these people would think like that. That is seriously one of my pet peeves. Sammy, you're so cute. You're so cute, Sammy. Also, I should mention that I did not tell her that I already had the cats TNR'd and taken care of, because I want to see how long it takes before they actually call me and say that they're ready to TNR the cats, at which time I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'm done already. You guys can cross me off your list. I so wanted to tell her that I now had 35 cats that I had to TNR. I wanted to be like, yeah, well, I called you in September because I had 7, but now it's 35. But I didn't say that. And I'm not even going to think about that because I don't need 35 cats to TNR. But that's what happens. And I'm sure it's happening all over New Jersey for everyone else that they haven't gotten back to. It's 6:20 p.m. and here's Simba. So he's under the dining room table right now because I just let him out of the bedroom and he was ambushed by Richard. I don't know what got into Richard, but Richard just ambushed him. And there was some kind of cat fight in the living room. and I was not in the living room, so I start screaming for them to break it up. The next thing you know, Simba is here under the dining table, and I chased Richard downstairs. His tail was all big. So Richard's tail was all big, and I wanted to show you Simba because Simba has the ability not just for his tail to get all big and puffy, but like all of his fur gets big and puffy. Like his face got big and puffy, his body got big and puffy. Like you've seen a cat's tail get big and puffy when, like, you know, they're scared or when they're trying to look tough. Simba's entire body just got big and puffy. I was looking at him going, oh my gosh, he turned into a giant puffball. He's since come down a bit. Simba, look over here. Like right now he's not as puffy as he was, but I was like, oh my gosh, he got so puffy. It's 2:25 p.m. and I wanted to show you the cats in their beds because 5 out of the 7 cats were in their beds. So there's Ringo and there's Ziggy, and Goldie was next to Ziggy, but she just jumped out when I put the camera on. Here's little Eva, and there's Sammy. The only 2 that aren't here are Nancy and little Richard, and that's because they're upstairs in the cat towers. And there's Goldie. It is 3 p.m. and look at this. I heard something weird and then Nancy was doing that. She's like standing on the glass. And look at what's going on. And this cat has a collar. So there's a tuxedo outside and it has a collar. I never see cats around here wearing collars. So that's good. I'm glad it's wearing a collar, but I don't know. I hope it's not lost and gonna make a home here. I hope it belongs to somebody local. It's about 4:15 p.m. right now, and I bought this giant litter box at a local supermarket today. And I bought it because I'm supposed to be leaving really early tomorrow for Easter, and I don't know what time I'm getting back. So I'm gonna be gone for a really long day, and I want to make sure I have enough litter boxes down here. So right now in this corner we have the high-sided litter box, and then in here I have a large litter box, and then these are the 2 from IKEA that used to be in the shelves upstairs. So I have a total of 4 litter boxes, but there's 7 cats. And I think if I'm going to be going away like on an overnight trip, I'll definitely need to have like 5 litter boxes here. So that's why I got this one. Also because it was cheap. It was like less than $8 and it's really big. And so for this size litter box, I thought it was a really good deal. I haven't figured out where I'm going to put it yet though. I think I might just put it here in front of the door because sometimes when I come down here, the door is almost completely shut. And if the cats ever did that, like if they ever managed to shut this door, then someone would probably be stuck in here and they wouldn't have any litter boxes. Like they'd be down here without any litter boxes. So I think by putting it here in front of the door, they still have room to walk around it, but it'll also help hold the door open. And there's Sammy. She's going to smell it. Check it out. I'm not going to fill it up yet. Hey, Sammy. But I thought I would just bring it down here and just kind of think about the placement. I do have to vacuum. It is about 10:30 a.m. I just came downstairs to see what's going on down here and give everyone like a real breakfast. So yesterday I was gone for a full day. I left early in the morning and I didn't get back until close to midnight. When I did get back, I gave the cats a little bit of canned food. So I opened up 2 cans of food so they each got about a quarter of a can of food just as a little snack at night because I did set up the automatic dry food feeder for them. Let's take a look at what's going on with that right now. So this is where I set up this automatic feeder. I did not set it up like this at all. There's a bowl here. There's another bowl under here, and then it's kind of facing the air purifier. I set it up here, and then the bowls were nice and neat on each side of the feeder. What happened was I looked at the security camera footage this morning I don't know, around 5 a.m., someone just went running through here and the whole thing got moved over. So it dispensed this morning, like all over the floor, but it looks like they ate the majority of it. Actually, excuse me, it did not dispense anything this morning. I have it on pause. So I guess last night when I was giving them the canned food, I actually paused this because they still had quite a bit of dry food in these bowls that they had not eaten. So when I was away yesterday, I set this to go off twice for dinner because there's only 2 bowls here, and so this is how it was set up. It was set up to dispense food into both of these bowls, and I have it set to dispense 2 cups at a time, so 1 cup would go in each bowl. And I have it doing that around 5 p.m., so it's like a cup in each bowl, and then again around 8 p.m. So I figured between both of those feedings, there's 4 cups of food. That would be like a half cup per cat. It might be too much, but I figured whatever they don't eat, they would save for later. And when I got back, you could see there's quite a bit of food left in this bowl. So that's probably why I put a pause on it. It's a good thing I did, because otherwise it would be like all over the place. And this is the extra litter box that I set up for them, and it worked out really well because they did end up using the litter box. There was litter all over the floor when I got home yesterday, so I did sweep it up. So some of the litter was kicked out because they were laying in it and rolling around in it because it was a brand new litter box with brand new litter. But I did scoop all the litter boxes out last night, and yeah, there was plenty of room left in all the litter boxes, so if I was to stay over somewhere on like a 24-hour trip, 5 litter boxes of this size would really do the trick, because these are all really big litter boxes. So it's good to know that I could go away on a 24-hour, 36-hour trip, and these cats will easily be taken care of between the feeder and the litter boxes. So this is an automatic feeder that dispenses food at set times. I still have the gravity feeder that just keeps a constant supply of dry food out. The reason why I didn't use that one is because I've started to see ants in the house over the past few days. Like every year I battle ants, and I don't want to jinx anything, but so far this year it hasn't been as bad as previous years. But again, it's still early. That's why I didn't want to just put the gravity feeder out, because the dry food does attract ants, and at least in here it doesn't attract as many ants because it's pretty much sealed up. I mean, they could still probably crawl in through the front, but they haven't done that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get their breakfast ready. Probably going to refresh their water and kind of get them back on their daily schedule. The upstairs cats are eating their breakfast now also. Okay, so everyone is eating their food. Everyone is happy I'm back. They're all excited, and Richard, Nancy, and Sammy were giving me lots of pets and headbutts, and there's 6 of them, and there's Sammy. Originally I gave them all the plates on the platter, but they wanted to kind of eat separate. That's fine. They're getting homemade raw food for breakfast with some freeze-dried chicken on top. Okay, who wants treats? Who wants treats? Who wants a treat? Here, Richard. Okay, Sammy. Goldie. Goldie. Eat it. Okay. Here, Ringo. Okay, who's next? Little Eva. Oh, Ziggy. Here, Ziggy. Okay, Ziggy got one. Everyone got one except for little Eva. What happened to the cat tower? Why is the cat tower down like that? Who knocked the cat tower over? It's 10 p.m. and there's Sammy. So she decided she wanted to come upstairs. She didn't want to stay downstairs. So tonight is going to be an experiment. What's going to happen? Is she going to stay up here? Is she going to bang on the door and cry and try to go back downstairs? I opened the door for her so she could go back downstairs, and she ran in the opposite direction. So we'll see. I mean, she's been on really good behavior. She doesn't try to attack cats. And she just took herself downstairs, so that answers that question. It is 9:15 a.m. and look what I just found. Look at this. So these are the curtains that belong on the back door. And here's my back door, and I guess they were hanging up here. So it looks like, okay, somehow they got the curtain rod down from the top of the door. Someone must have been jumping up there. And yesterday I edited a video that explained how Sammy can jump to nearly the top of a door. So I blame Sammy. Also right now she appears to be hiding. Nancy just jumped the gates. I have to feed the other cats their breakfast up here. There's water on the floor because I was refilling the water bowls. Uh-oh. Here's Boo. Here's Nancy. Nancy, you gonna go back downstairs? Yeah, you gonna go back down? Go ahead. Go back down. Jump. Jump. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.